Alright, y'all. I know what time it is. You feel me? We back. You already know we on the road, baby. We gotta keep a good thing going. So today we're gonna get into part 5 of your Drew Hill Group Dynamics video. You feel me? Gonna kick back with them other 4 parts. You feel me? Make sure you get that intro. Part 1, part 2, and 3. You know we got Woody, and now we on our boy Nokio. So we're gonna get into part 2. Our boy Nokio today. You feel me? I already know what time it is. Come on with it.
Oh. I tell you, like, I'm like the 2020 Petey Pablo on this motherfucker. Nah, fuck that, nigga. I'm like P in this bitch. Look. Bad little bitch, call me daddy though. Met the little baby up in cameo. Classy little bitch and not a ratchet hoe. She be dancing in the mirror.
So, you know, he's also the writer of the group, so he wrote a lot of songs for them and different people and stuff. And he was also the one who, even after they broke up, he stayed in the music industry and worked as a music exec and things like that. Which makes sense because with him being Aquarius, we know he's a fixed sign, so we know that he's going to stick with whatever he's doing, you feel me? You know what I say about them fixed signs. You see what I say? It is what it is. The fixed signs stay where they at, they stay put, you feel me? They gonna go with what they know, you see what I'm saying? They gonna do what works for them, you feel me? And they gonna stick to it. So it makes sense that he, even though, you know, he's no longer in this group, and even though he had moved on to other things, he would still be in music. He would still do something with music because, like I said, fixed signs are steadfast. You see what I'm saying? Like I was saying before about Woody. Nigga, what? You keep switching up on fixed signs? Like, no, they don't understand that. Like, nigga, if I'm doing it all the way till I can't do it no more. That's how fixed sign get down, you feel me? They don't understand that, oh, it ain't working over here, let me go over there. Oh, it ain't working over here, let me go over there. Oh, this ain't working, let me go over there. No, nigga, you stay where you at and you figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? That's how fixed sign work. That's how fixed sign maneuver. They don't understand that mutability. They don't understand that moving and shaking. And if you don't sit your motherfucking ass down somewhere... Hey, and that's what a fixed sign gonna tell you when you come bringing them all these new and different and all. A fixed sign might be the last one to catch on, you feel me? But they gonna be the first one, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? They might be the last one to catch over to some new shit, but they gonna be the first. They gonna be the ones maintaining what y'all got going. They gonna be the ones that keep shit, you know what I mean, sustain whatever they have, you see what I'm saying? That's why fixed signs are able to keep a lot of things they have a lot longer than other people. Even though they may not accomplish as much, they may, you see what I'm saying? A fixed sign may not even reach the heights of other signs, but they'll be able to sustain it longer. They'll be able to maintain longer. You know, they may not be at the level that you want, but they getting theirs, how they get it. You see what I'm saying? Because they have that maintenance. You see what I'm saying? They have that solid foundation. Like, you see what I'm saying? And they know how to stay put. You see what I'm saying? And that'll be, I mean, the way it'll be good for them, sometimes bad for them. But they know how to stay put. They know how to stay the course. Like they say, stay the course. Fixed signs know how to do that. That's how they win a lot of times, you feel me? Because everybody else will be there, went on off and did some whole other, and they steady there, steady working, steady figuring out what's going on over here. So while you in and out, they figuring out all what's going on in they one lane. They in their lane. Hey, fixed signs are in their lane. Straight up, it is what it is. They ain't trying to hop over all this swerving and none of that. It is what it is. It is what it is. He's also more of the voice of the group as far as his dynamic within the group. You feel me? This group dynamics video, you feel me? Let's not get too far to the individual care. You feel me? We got to always bring it back to the group. So as far as his dynamic within his group, you feel me? He's the talker of the group. You feel me? If you watch the interviews and things like that, you just go back over time and, you know, watch the interviews, different programs and things they've done. He's usually the one talking, even though he's not the lead singer. We know Cisco is the lead, so you would expect him to be doing most of the talking, you see what I'm saying, because that's who the people want to hear from. But actually, when you watch it, it's more of Nokio doing the talking, which makes sense because that Aquarius, he's an air sign, so that's his element. You see what I'm saying? He's comfortable with that. He's comfortable with talking. He's comfortable with exchange. You see what I'm saying? Exchanging ideas and things like that. He's comfortable in that element. You see what I'm saying? Whereas some of the other members may not be as comfortable, especially, you know what I mean, when they're having to go and deal with different personalities and different energies and different, you see what I'm saying? So that's really his role. That's really where he comes in. That's really where he's able to shine. So even though we don't necessarily hear him on the track so much in the interviews, he's taking the lead a lot of times. He's telling a lot of the stories. He's telling what happened from his perspective. Even when Cisco like I said, even when it's not necessarily his story. Like even when it's about another member in the group, you'll see that he finds himself speaking on it more so than them. You know, he finds himself telling the story, which makes sense because, like I said, he's the air sign of the group, so he's going to rule that air. Whenever it comes to that element, he's going to rule that. You see what I'm saying? And that's probably why he was able to, have fewer problems with the group than others. You see what I'm saying? Because he was kind of in his element. Wasn't nobody really stepping on his toes. Whereas like with the other members, they were really into the singing aspect, which caused a lot of tension within their group. He never really had that issue because he was about the music. You know what I'm saying? He's about writing the songs, arranging the songs, putting the songs together. He's running that. You see what I'm saying? And he's fixed in what he's doing. He's focused on that, and nobody's really, you know what I mean, stepping into his bubble, so he wasn't really affected that much. So it makes sense why he wasn't really one of the people who left the group initially, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. And why he always came back. He was always one to, like even when Cisco went solo, he supported him. He never really had too many issues in the group. Which, like I said, it makes sense because with that fixed air, he was in his own element, so he really had no problem. You know what I mean? He really had no reason to have an issue with anyone because he was ruling that aspect. Nobody was stepping into his bubble, really. Even from the other members and things like that, they were saying how you would think that the people who we hear on the tracks are the favorites, but actually they were saying Cisco and Nokia were the favorites of like the executives and things like that. They were actually the ones getting the favoritism within the group, which you wouldn't have expected. You would have expected to be Cisco and Jazz because they do the majority of the singing, but behind the scenes that wasn't the case. Although they liked, appreciated their talent, that the value, like, you see what I'm saying? The value that they brought to the group was different. You see what I'm saying? Nobody else brought this aspect to the group. You see what I'm saying? No one else brought the writing and the ability to arrange and put a song together. You see what I'm saying? Like, you just sing. You see what I'm saying? This is from the executive's point of view. You just sing. You see what I'm saying? They can make hits for how many other people over here. You see what I'm saying? This is how they looking at it. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of benefited him in a way. I mean, like I said, him just being the only air sign in the group and having his way in his own little lane. You see what I'm saying? So that was part 5 of your Drew Hill Group Dynamics video. We got to get into Nokia just a little bit more. You feel me? We got to figure out how, boy, get to maneuver with all that air. You feel me? A little bit of that fixed nature. How his ability, work in production and writing and being able to communicate and things like that were able to serve him within the group, you feel me? But also, it didn't hinder him as much as the others, you feel me? A lot of his characteristics served him as far as his career went, so that's good. But he did have some downsides, but we ain't got there yet, you feel me? That's later. So you already know what time it is, you feel me? Make sure you go over there, kick back with us on Instagram, you feel me? I'm gonna get back over there. You gotta be over there for me to be over there. Y'all know how we do. Make sure you kick back with those other 4 parts, you feel me? We on the road, so we gonna keep a good thing going. Y'all already know what time it is. Come on with it.